guys, I hope you're having a good week. So this week's video really is just to chat about how I'm doing my best to keep on top of things, because even though there's so much great stuff going on, as I briefly mentioned in last week's video, Matt and I have had an offer accepted on a house, which we're so excited about. We can't wait to move in, but there's still so much to do before that happens. Anyone that's bought a house knows how stressful and how complicated and time consuming it all is. And obviously with my career, I've had a couple of job changes in the last few months, and I also have been applying for lots of different work experience because I need to get as much experience as possible, really. So bearing all that in mind, and with the wedding obviously, there's a lot to sort of think about and make sure I'm giving my time properly to everything, because it's also important and nothing really can sort of slip by. And it can feel overwhelming or stressful, and you just feel a bit like, oh, I don't know what to do next, or what should be done first, and just get a bit So it's best, I would say, just to take, even if it's an hour out, maybe an evening out, if you get to a point where you feel like, I don't know what to do next, I'm feeling overwhelmed, the best thing to do first is just to take a step back from it and not think about it at all. So read a book, watch some TV, have a nice bubble bath, do some exercise, whatever it is that makes you not think about anything for a while, just to focus your time on it. Because I can guarantee you, when you come back to it, it won't feel as stressful as it did when someone was asking you to do something else, or you've thought of another thing, because you've had time to just relax and process it, and your brain won't feel as overwhelmed. I can promise you, because things can feel like you're not sure what to do next, but once you've had that time away, it sort of looks at it in a fresh light, and you can think, right, okay, this needs to be done first. I would also strongly suggest making lots of lists. Sometimes making lists in itself can just feel quite satisfying. I don't know what it is, maybe I'm weird, but I do like writing a good list of things I have to do. And I write a list for the week, everything that needs to be done that week, and then I break it down day by day. So for example, when you're buying a house, you've got like solicitors' contracts, mortgage meetings, and if you're moving quickly, they all have to be done as soon as possible. And when you're both working shifts, that can also be hard, because some meetings you need to go to together to get things approved and so forth. So you need to sort of prioritise that first. So that's what Matt and I did. We sat down and thought, right, he's got these days off here, I've got these days off here, that's when we'll do this, this and this, anything that needs to be done together. And then with wedding planning, I can give you a perfect example actually. Last week I was offered an amazing opportunity that I've been waiting months for. I was so excited, but halfway through the opportunity I had our flower meeting coming up, which had been booked for ages, and obviously it's wedding season, so I didn't know when we'd be able to get our next meeting and try and get Matt and me off together on the same day to have this meeting. And I did sort of worry about it, but like I said, I just took a step back, and then about an hour later I thought about it again, and I just emailed Rosie, who's our flower lady, and I said, is it okay to delay the meeting by an hour? She kindly said yes. I was up in London doing this work experience, so what I did is I got a train to where she lives instead of coming home. Matt was off, so he met me there, and then we went and had the meeting. So I managed to do everything anyway, even though when I thought, oh, I'm going to have to cancel. There are always solutions to pretty much everything. And it's similar with wedding planning, but with other things. If there's a time deadline on something, you know it has to be done within a day or within a week, make that your priority. Don't try and do too many things at once. I've in the past had habits of where I start one job and think, oh yes, I need to do this, oh yes, and then you start up to like 10 different things, and then by the end of the day you feel a bit stressed because you think, well, I've not actually finished anything, because I spent so much time doing bits of different things that I've not completed one of those things. So it's very important to just start one job, finish that job before you go on to the next one. I mean, for wedding planning, it's actually quite easy in the sense that there are things that you know have a timeline and need to be booked quickly, so they should be near at the top of your list, like photographer or cake or flowers, those sort of big things. However, things like your bridesmaids' dresses or suits, that sort of stuff, is obviously still very important. But if you're getting married, say, in a year's time, you've still got a few months before you need to worry about that. So for me, as much as I really want to get planning with my bridesmaids' dresses, I have made a list and realised that I can't do that at the moment, because I want to give that proper time. I don't want to rush it or just make a quick decision. So we're concentrating on the flowers and the entertainment at the moment. And then once that's done, we've obviously got house bits to do in that time as well. and with me, depending on how work goes or when I'm working, that, you know, that's obviously equally important. And then in a couple of months' time, we'll have the flowers sorted, we'll have the cake sorted, and maybe in the house if we're lucky, and then I can dedicate a lot more of my time to my bridesmaids' dresses, because you don't have to get everything done right away. There is stuff that you don't have to prioritise at the top and do it now. It's much better to spend a lot of your time on one thing and make it something that you're really confident and happy with, than rush several things and then think, oh, I'm not really sure if I like that, but because you had felt you had to make a quick decision. You really don't. In life, you can always make lists, and there's always something that will need to be done right away, but there's always something that you were going to do but you can do later. Like, it's not going to be the end of the world if you don't do it in that week. So try not to worry, and like I say, just if you feel overwhelmed, take breaks. Also, it's really good to talk to your friends or your family, your other half. Matt is very laid back. He's pretty much the opposite of me. Nothing seems to faze him. He can stay calm in most situations. So it's good if I have a moment where I feel a bit stressed and think, oh, I don't know when to do this. He'll just say, well, it's fine, and we'll sit down and talk about it for 10 minutes, and then he'll be like, I'm off today, so I'll make those phone calls. You're off on Friday, so you can make those phone calls then. And it works perfectly. Teamwork, very good. If you can work between each other, especially for wedding plannings and house buying and those big joint decisions, teamwork is so important. So make sure you're not trying to do everything by yourself, because there will be people there that sort of, I say delegate, that's very businessy, but you know, that you can give, they'll be happy to help. Your bridesmaids will be happy to help you if you're feeling overwhelmed. The parents, anyone, family, they will love to help, especially who doesn't love a wedding? So if you feel like you just need a bit of extra advice or a bit like an extra pair of hands, don't be afraid to ask. I hope that helps, because that's what I've been doing, and I'm finding that I'm getting along great at the moment. You have the odd sort of stressy day, but within half an hour you calm yourself down and you're back on track again. So yeah, I hope that helped. If you did like this video, don't forget you can like, share and subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe if you like what you saw. You can also tweet me, that's at Charlotte's Vlog, and you can find me on Facebook too, so that's facebook.com/Charlotte's Vlog. And in next week's video I'll be talking about flowers. As you know, we've had our meeting now, so I can give you some tips on that too. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you then.